Hello and welcome to another segment of DSU Inside Perspective. I'm Carlos Holmes, and this is the show in which we talk with faculty, staff, students, alumni, guests about some of the things that are going on in the world or some of the great things that are going on at Delaware State University. Today we have Lieutenant Colonel Michael A. Hales, who is our new Aviation Program Director here at Delaware State University. Lieutenant Colonel Hales, thank you for being on my show today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You come from the U.S. Army, 25-year veteran of the U.S. Army.
Yes.
And you're retired now.
Yes.
And you've taken this job here. You have had quite an experience in the Army, haven't you, with respect to flight training?
I have. I've done a lot of overseas assignments, which have actually required me to, in at least two cases, establish flight schools overseas. Saudi Arabia was the first one. After 9/11, sending their they used to send all their aviators and their military personnel to the United States for training. And after 9/11, that kind of came to a screeching halt. And so while I was over there, I helped establish the first flight school, helicopter flight school there in the country. And so that way they could train their aviators and continue the quality instruction that they were getting in the United States. And then I've done that also in Iraq during a deployment, and then overseeing the flight training activities that are going down in Colombia in South America.
Well, I don't have your resume to flash up on the screen here, but it's impressive. It is impressive. So I understand what attracted DSU to you, but what attracted you to this aviation program here at DSU?
Well, I'll tell you, it is something to be in a position where you can affect the future of pilot training and, of course, aviation maintenance training. Now, we don't have that here at Delaware State University, but we are all about producing pilots for the airlines. And to be a part of that is something special for me. I love the energy that young people have, and young men and women who are training to do something that I love, which is fly airplanes. That's wonderful to be a part of. And so this is truly my dream job, if you will, after the military.
That's a blessing to be able to find something that you have passion for after your main career. That's great. You've already kind of given some presentations. The aviation department is under the College of Business here at Delaware State University, and you've given some presentations in terms of some of your goals and objectives that you're going to be pursuing, one of which is accreditation. Now, that's interesting. How does accreditation work for aviation?
So we are accredited by the University Aviation Association, but within that umbrella group,
we're already accredited?
We are. But within that umbrella group is another accrediting body that looks specifically at flight training. And that's what we're seeking, because what we do here is flight training and preparing students to go fly in the minors, if you will, the regional airlines, and then the majors, which are the big airlines like United, Delta, or American. And that accreditation, we haven't done a very good job of seeking after that and completing it. And so that's one of my top priorities, is to get that. That kind of puts us in the same exclusive club, if you will, as Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, the University of North Dakota, which are the two largest programs that are out there for collegiate aviation.
Is it a case of we're doing the things we need to do to be worthy of an accreditation, we just have not provided the documented proof of it, or?
And that's really what it comes down to, documenting what you're doing a self-assessment, of course, which takes a long time, and it's very intensive, and we really haven't had the manpower, if you will, to complete that. And so doing that, handing in a credible document that logs, if you will, or documents everything that we're doing and why we're doing it, and then having them come and inspect us, if you will, and then after that, the decision for, hey, you are accredited.
Now, for those of you that don't know, the aviation program has its own planes, 11, correct? 11 planes.
And we are, by the way, we are the only HBCBU in the United States that has its own aircraft and an aviation program.
But along those lines, along the lines of your objectives and your goals that you've already established here early in the early outset of your tenure here, there seems to be a must-do item on here. I'm going to read it here to make sure I say it right. We have to achieve automatic dependence surveillance broadcast compliance.
Yes.
Okay. Explain what that is. It sounds like something that's going to cost some money, and it sounds like something we got to put on our airplanes.
It does, and the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, I'll try to make it very simple and keep it short, but they have mandated that by January 1st, 2020, all aircraft in the United States of America flying in our airspace have to have what's the acronym, which is ADS-B, in their aircraft, ADS-B capability in each aircraft. That requires an avionics upgrade and installation of a component that will then broadcast out to air traffic controllers, no matter where you are, your position and altitude and heading. And in a nutshell, that is received by the satellites that orbit the Earth. And so regardless of where you are or how low you are, it really makes radar, if you will, obsolete.
So to take the Malaysian flight that disappeared.
Yes.
Okay. Did that have that particular?
It did not. And had it had something like that, then they could exactly have tracked it to the point where it actually crashed.
We would know.
And we would know. Another example, Steve Fawcett, who was a famous aviator in the United States, set several world records. He was out flying his own airplane on a clear day, was over the mountains somewhere in the southwest of the United States. He crashed. They could not find his aircraft or his body for several weeks. Mm-hmm. Had he had ADS-B, that could have led them to his crash site. And perhaps if he had survived the crash site, then they could have come quickly and gotten to him. And so the FAA is making everyone who flies in the United States and our airspace have this capability on their aircraft.
And if you don't have it, you can't fly.
That's exactly right.
So our program depends on this.
Our program would come to a screeching halt if we don't have this capability.
By what year?
By 2020, January 1st,
Okay,
2020.
so we've got some time to work.
We've got some time, and so therefore it's
But
an important
obviously,
thing for me.
you believe that we're going to work this out, because I saw another one of your goals. What, we have about 100 students now?
Yes.
Your goal is 500 students.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to see how this program, we hope we're in for a long tenure.
Oh, absolutely.
Lieutenant Colonel retired. They keep retired. He wants to keep that retired part. Lieutenant Colonel retired Michael Hales. We expect a long tenure with you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome,
and I do
welcome to Delaware State University.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me on my show today. And thank you for joining me for another segment of DSU Inside Perspective. Everyone have a good day.